Lewis Hamilton is having one of his worst seasons in his F1 career. The first time he had faced this much adversity was in 2009. Some have suggested that the 2022 Mercedes is the worst car that Lewis has had to drive. Lewis has now revealed if this is true while speaking to the media in Imola. I'm your host Dillon Shelley, and first up on Formula World, Lewis Hamilton reveals if 2022 Mercedes is worst car he has driven. Lewis started off by explaining how Mercedes ended up where they are. They've been super innovative with design, and our wind tunnel was telling us that we had really good downforce. Unfortunately, we got on track and we didn't see, for example, there is no bouncing in the wind tunnel. We came across this phenomenon that is a lot harder to fix than we could have ever imagined. He then addressed those who suggested that he has never had a bad car prior to this year. There are people that watch and say that I have never had a bad car, and I can assure you I have. 2009's car was very, very far off and was the worst car that I have had. This car is currently not far off that experience. He signed off by being positive about the future. But I think it has a lot of potential, as did that car. We fixed it eventually and got back in the game, and I have the utmost faith that my team can do that here too. Fast feed. Championship leader Charles Leclerc feels that the spin should not have happened. I mean, P3 was the best I could do. We didn't have the pace for much more, and I was too greedy and I paid the price for it. I lost 7 potential points. It's 7 points that are valuable at the end of the championship. McLaren's Daniel Ricciardo stated that intentions were in a good way to try and leave some room for Carlos Sainz on lap 1, but in those conditions I didn't have the grip that I was hopeful for. I slid up into him and ruined his race as well, and then we had damage and it was a painful 60 laps. Sainz meanwhile revealed that the first thing that Ricciardo did was come to the Ferrari box to apologise. The mechanics were all with me and we all thanked him for the gesture. That's why there's no hard feelings with Daniel. What happened with him could have happened to anyone out there, but unfortunately it had to happen to me. Aston Martin's Sebastian Vettel stated that to finish P8 it is an important result for the team because they have worked so hard in a challenging season so far. It is clear that we benefited from the cooler and damp conditions on Friday and Sunday. But we still need to capitalise on the opportunities that came our way. For Alpine's Fernando Alonso, it's unlucky as a small brush with Mick, which wasn't intentional, destroyed their car and race. After Australia, I feel I could have scored 20 or 30 points in the championship, and I have only 2. And AlphaTauri's Yuki Tsunoda is super happy with the race, especially to score points at their home track. Should Charles Leclerc have settled for 3rd place in Imola? Head over to my community page to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you liked this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.